Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, in the house, and I'm back with another short today. Today, we're going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals. Now, a lot of news has come out of Glendale, Arizona. Some of it, actually, none of it, been really good or even positive. But before we get into that news, make sure if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so now. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, we know on Monday that Cliff Kingsbury was fired or relieved of his duties as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, he did not post a winning record in his tenure there. I believe he finished 28, 37, and 1. So he was on the hot seat, I think, from the beginning of the season. Then also, your long tenured GM, Steve Keim, has stepped down. We all know he's struggled with personal issues. I know he had a DUI a couple years ago, and I guess football just hasn't been a priority in his life, and that it has to be if you're the GM of a National Football League team. And then late last night, or sometime last night, the Arizona Cardinals announced, or it was rumored, that they would be in the market of trading or shipping off Deandre Hopkins, depending on what was in return for a trade. Now, that's very interesting now because you have a lamed up quarterback in Kyler Murray, who you basically gave a truckload of money to, who ended up getting hurt. And reports were saying that, initially in his contract that he was required to do film study. Now, that set off a whole blaze of mess and negativity and criticism because you would have figured that a quarterback would be watching film. But that's not the case with Kyler Murray. He's more into the Call of Duty scene, right? That's the running joke. Now, you're looking to trade his best target away from a team that really is going to be lackluster in regards to talent on the outside or just anywhere in that receiver room, right? You lost Christian Kirk to the offseason last year or going into this season, and now you're getting rid of D-Hop, your best player on your team at this point. J.J. Watt's retiring, but that's on the defensive side of the ball. So now if you're the Arizona Cardinals or a Cardinals fan, where does this leave you now? What is the state of the union of the Arizona Cardinals? And I'll give you my take on that real quick. So number one, you got to start with the GM, I think, right? Most people think, well, you got to go with the head coach, but the GM ultimately will pick whatever guy he wants to be running the team from a day-to-day basis, right? Now, Sean Payton's been thrown out there, a couple other names, some college guys. More than likely, I think the new GM is probably going to go with perhaps maybe a younger guy. Again, they already ran down that road with Cliff Kingsbury, who really, believe me or not, I think can call plays, right? It worked in college, but mainly because he did have Patrick Mahomes as well, too. So number one, GM, you got to get a quarterback, you got to get a coach, right? But who's the coach? Who wants to take this job on? This is not a very good job anymore, which is ironic because this team really had a good little short stretch not that long ago. They made the playoffs a couple years back. They had a really good winning record, but then they kind of faltered toward the end of the season. So now where does that leave you? Now, the GM and the coach is solidified. Maybe perhaps we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks or so. And then player personnel evaluations, right? What do you do with the quarterback? Do you go and draft another quarterback? Some people might say, well, they might have to, and some might say, you know what, Kyler Murray can still play. I'm in the belief that Kyler Murray is talented, but as far as the quarterback position is concerned, I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. Doesn't make really good reads. He's a first read kind of guy. He's just looking to run, right? And obviously, if he doesn't watch film, therefore he's not learning anything about the opposing defense or anything about the game of football. And as a quarterback, you got to be able to read defenses and make quick time decisions at the line of scrimmage, pre and post snap. So Arizona Cardinals, I don't know what's going to happen to them. They're in a very competitive division. You have the Niners, who are looking really solid again. Their problem is going to be a quarterback. Who's going to be the quarterback? Seattle Seahawks, I think they're going to get better, right? They made the playoffs this year with Geno Smith after getting rid of Russell Wilson, who did not make the playoffs. They have a very solid, stout running game with really two good wide receivers in DK Metcalf and Lockett over there on the outside. So, and then finally the Rams, right? The Rams may lose their head coach, but I still think they have enough items in the cupboard as far as talent is talked about to get the job done in a pretty solid division, I would say, right? Not that long ago, we were talking about the NFC West being the best division in football, but I think they've been knocked down just a tad, but we'll see what happens. So Arizona Cardinals fans probably looking for answers at this point in time. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think this is a very good job at this point. I mean, the only positive thing about this whole organization is your ownership. You know, the Bidwells have owned this team for years, decades, right? So that's the one thing you got going from. The fans, the loyalty to those teams, to their team is pretty remarkable there. But I think they're looking for a winner now. right? You got the Phoenix Suns who made the finals not that long ago. They're looking for their professional football team to make that move to get to that Lombardi trophy. So I don't know what's going to happen. Cardinals fans, NFL fans, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Who should be the next coach of the Arizona Cardinals? And do you think Kyler Murray is the guy for them? And can he lead them to a Super Bowl? So that's all I got. Until next time, this is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. We'll see you guys later. Peace.